With my team of 5 characters, I have set out to reach max level and take on the most difficult challenges a 5-player team can face. Welcome to Multiboxing Classic. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4. I'm about to journey into the Scarlet Monastery and that means AoE. Let's get into it. My Drude will be tanking, spamming Demo Roar to gain initial threat, and then swipe for maximum damage once I start the AoE. My Warlock will be using this macro to Hellfire. What this does is make the keybind spammable. If he is currently channeling, it will not cast Hellfire again, and if he is not channeling, it will cast Hellfire. That secret weapon I told you about last episode is the Destruction Talent Pyroclasm, a 3-second stun that can proc off of Hellfire. My mage will be spamming Arcane Explosion. He has the 40% threat reduction talents from the Arcane tree, so that should keep him pretty safe. With the shaman it gets a bit complicated, as he doesn't have a spammable AoE spell. I've created this cast sequence macro. He drops Fire Nova Totem, Lightning Bolts while it goes off, then drops a Magma Totem and keeps spamming Lightning Bolt. Once I hit level 32 on him, some of the Lightning Bolts will get replaced with Chain Lightnings. And lastly, my priest. Now, I could have him spam Holy Nova for a bit of extra damage and some AoE heals, but it costs so much mana, so I'll likely have him do nothing so that I can throw heals where they are needed. Now let's see how the AoE goes. Make my way into the Scarlet Monastery graveyard, and the first thing I'm gonna do is kill these 2 solo mobs just by themselves. There's no point really grouping them up. I did some small pulls to clear out the interrogator's room that I forgot to record. No AoE yet though. One of the nice things about this dungeon is there's usually 1 to 2 unlocked chests throughout the dungeon, which is just more greens, more money. Now I'm going to test my AoE out first on these non-elite unfettered spirits. Now what exactly spawns in the graveyard is random anytime, so it could be a pack of 3 of these or 1 of the elites. So sometimes this is a pretty good pull where I can try to get a bunch of these things together and hopefully not die. And I don't have enough mana to go into bear form quite yet. Alright, this is a bit of a rough pull. But you gotta start somewhere. Keep my tank alive. Healer aggro. Let's just start the AoE. Ooh. Alright, those die pretty quick. Rough pull. Everyone survived, technically. Now I'm getting near the final crypt of the dungeon, and I'm not trying to clear every mob in this dungeon. I'm just taking the easy pulls and the necessary pulls to get there. I don't think I'll ever be able to do this in less than 12 minutes, so I probably won't ever have an issue with lockouts. Once inside the crypt, I have to clear the mobs and make my way to the final boss, Blood Mage Thalnos. These first few runs were a little rough. I was kind of afraid to use AoE, didn't know the pulls, and didn't know how it was all going to work out. I was able to kill the boss fine and did runs in 20-25 minutes, but I just wasn't hitting my stride yet. It took me a few levels, but I finally got a good grasp on how to easily run this dungeon. First, when I would come in, I would kill the 2 mobs in the starting hallway solo. Then I would set up and pull the interrogator's room in 2 pulls, about 6-7 mobs each pull. After that was done, I would loot the chest if there was a lootable one, and then make my way into the graveyard. Now, once I was in the graveyard, I would try to string together as many AoE pulls with the non-elite unfettered spirits as I could. This was sometimes easier than others, as sometimes there just weren't a lot of the unfettered spirit packs in the graveyard. Now, after I took all the easy pulls in the graveyard, I would make my way to the crypt. Now the crypt has 3 levels. There's 2 rooms on the first level, 2 rooms on the second level, and the third level is just the boss. I would do the first level as one big pull, the second level as one big pull, and then I would do the boss. Now the hardest pull of this dungeon was the second level. It would usually be something like 9 non-elites and 2 to 3 elites. Although again, there were random chances for different types. I mean, sometimes it was just 5 elites, or almost all non-elites. After that, I would kill Blood Mage Thalnos, and he was never really much of a problem. Pretty easy tank and spank. Didn't even have to heal my tank at all to kill him. And then that was it. I would run out of the dungeon and reset. I got the dungeon runtime down to about 15 minutes. Let me break down the AoE a bit more, as it is going to be most of the pulls in all the Scarlet Monastery dungeons. First things first, my Drude pulls everything. I start the pulls out with a Regrowth, Rejuve, and Renew on him. The 2 Druid heals help to get initial AoE threat. I may also pull some things with Moonfire, but then I go into bear form, spamming Demo Roar until I get about 5 of them up. My Druid is just a big bag of health with decent armor. He's here to pull the mobs and to take the damage from the mobs during the pull and for the first few moments of the AoE. After getting the Demo Roar threat, I will start the AoE, with my Warlock Hellfiring, Mage spamming Arcane Explosion, and my Shaman doing his cast sequence. My Priest healer does nothing automatically. I use him to heal single target with the click bar. I usually pump 1 to 3 max rank heals into my Druid, sometimes with a Renew. By that point, usually about 5 seconds into the AoE, my Warlock will pull threat. Now, this isn't really a problem. My Warlock has plenty of health, and I have the time to heal him. With my Warlock usually pulling threat, it means my Shaman, Priest, and Mage can stay safe. For non-elite mobs, they're usually dead by this time or a few seconds after. For elite mobs, it will usually take about 5 more seconds for them to die, necessitating 2 to 3 more max rank heals going to my Warlock. And that's that. Drink up and get ready for the next pull while my Druid loots. Oh, I almost forgot. Here are my talents at level 30. At this point in my team, I have a pretty good idea of where the next 10 to 15 levels are going to take me. I'll stay in Scarlet Monastery Graveyard until 34. Then do Library from 34 to 37. Doing Armory just once in that range for the quest, as I don't really need any loot from there. At 37, I plan on going to RFD, as it has easy to do AoE pulls, and staying there until 40. Then I will likely do Cathedral from 40 to 42. I'm level 34 and I'm going to leave the graveyard soon, but not before I try to have a little bit of fun. Now there's a trick you can do to pull the entirety of the crypt at the end in one pull, if done right. And it requires a Warlock, and a Priest really helps, and I happen to have both of those. So I'm going to summon my Eye of Kilrog. Then I give it Power Word Shield for an extra 300 health. And with any luck, I should be able to pull the entirety of the crypt up to here. Alright, so what's pulled is pulled. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, this is not looking too good. The boss up here? Oh, that AoE damage from the boss is murdering me. Oh yeah, there he is. Well, technically a successful pull. Not the best, but it was still fun. I'm in Scarlet Monastery Library now and I'm doing all AoE pulls. The only difference here is that the mobs are now all elites. At some point I realized the Pyroclasm talent's 26% chance to stun for 3 seconds is spread out over the entirety of the Hellfire, making it a little under 2% chance to stun per pulse. While this is a lot worse than I thought, it's still not a bad talent for AoE. I can usually rely on 1 to 3 stuns per AoE pull depending on the group size, which really helps out. While in Graveyard, I was able to get more than enough orbs from Blood Mage Thalnos to give 1 to each of my boys. Now in here I'm trying to get at least 4 Hypnotic Blades from Arcanist Dome. These two combined are an amazing weapon set for casters and will last me many levels. Library has been more challenging with the all-elite AoE pulls, combined with the fact that these are runner mobs, which flee when they are low health. However, it's been great XP and great money so far, and the runs are quick. Doan is easy compared to fighting 8 of the dungeon mobs at once. His detonation is enough to tickle my Drude and do about 40% of my caster's health, but he only gets 1 off per kill, so no big deal. Ever since Aragal, I've been longing for a hard boss fight, but it seems I'll have to wait a bit more. After a level or 2, I've really figured out the pulls and I can pull pretty much 1 whole room at a time, AoEing 5 to 8 mobs at once. The last room before Doan is the hardest pull, containing 8 mobs that all hit hard, usually with a couple that can heal. Then one night while I was streaming, this happened. Oh no. While I was finishing the AoE pull in the last room, some of the mobs that ran away aggroed the boss. I initially tried to run back, thinking he would reset. When I saw that wasn't going to happen, I knew I'd have to fight it out. First thing I need to do is finish all the mobs, then I can focus on the boss. My team is pretty mana depleted though, so this is going to be tough. Now it's just me and Doan, but my healer is nearly out of mana. With detonation coming just in the nick of time, Tankerboy was able to get away and heal himself. I ended up doing library until about halfway through 36, getting a hypnotic blade for each of my boys. I gotta say, this place was great money and great XP once I got it figured out. Now onto my single armory run for the SM quest. Now that I've gotten through some of armory, I can tell you that I'm glad I'm only doing this once. This place isn't conducive to the kind of AoE I'm doing. The reason for this is that a lot of these mobs can interrupt spell casting. For my warlock channeling Hellfire or my priest casting heals, this is bad news. I wiped more than once learning this the hard way. Nevertheless, I was able to make it to the one and only boss inside Armory, Herod. This is going to be a difficult fight. He's 4 levels above me and has a ton of health. Plus, I have to make sure I have enough AoE to kill the adds at the end of the fight. Ooh, long fight, but nicely done. Let's see if I can handle these adds. Oh, I can just drink quick. No problem, man. I'm not going to RFD now. I lied to you earlier. Well, not really. I'll go there at 37, but right now I want to do Scarlet Monastery Cathedral to finish this quest. As you can see, it's going a little rough. I eventually got to the cathedral itself. This is going to be tough as I'm low level for this place at 36. After clearing out the cathedral with one wipe due to user error, I was ready for the final boss duo. Things were going alright, but I just didn't have enough damage and healing to make it the distance. And eventually, I wiped. Foreseeing this possibility, I had soulstoned my shaman, so I rezzed up and tried again. This fight was even harder. Because I had been in the cathedral so long, I actually had 2 mobs respawn in the middle of the fight and attack me, leading to, yet again, another wipe. Maybe bosses 6 levels above me are just not killable. I went to bed and I vowed I would return again, the next day. I'm back and with a vengeance. Killing my way through the cathedral again got me to 37, which should help. They don't stand a chance. After he dies, his mom has to come in and help him out. Alright, now for the hard part. 2 bosses at once. Yes, nicely done. All of SM cleared at level 37. Very happy with that. Ooh, got the helmet too. This also finishes up my quest for the 12 stamina 5 spirit neck, which is pretty nice for my boys. Ah, it's nice to get a breath of fresh air from Scarlet Monastery. I will be back, but for now my next adventure awaits. Razorfen Downs. Thank you for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to watch me in real time, you can find me streaming at twitch.tv/Leecherboy, link in the description. And as always, happy gaming.